All right, all right. Good evening, everyone. Make sure I'm hearing a little feedback here already, so make sure we got our microphones muted. Um, Welcome to LinkedIn 101 tips, tricks, and hacks to stand out. Guys, this is me saying welcome, welcome to joining. We're gonna wait maybe 3 to 5 more minutes here to get started, just to allow some time for maybe some folks joining late to get in here with us. Um, Also, greetings and hello to everyone watching this on the replay on YouTube. Please keep in mind by the end of this video, or even at the beginning, if you find value at any point in time, please remember to share this link with your network and people that you care about, because we're definitely going to be adding a lot of value today. Um, as I mentioned, we're going to wait a few minutes here until we get started. And I do want to encourage you guys as well, if you are on a computer right now, to log into your LinkedIn and kind of follow along, maybe even interact with me as we're doing this live. That'll be kind of fun. So I want to see my notifications go up as we're doing this video. And also, I should say hello to everyone tuned in on Instagram Live right now as well. We're going live on multiple platforms now. I'm encouraging anyone listening on Instagram Live to please join us here on Zoom meeting. The link is in my bio, and it'll be a much more beneficial experience for you to learn if you're tuned in here with us on Zoom, as opposed to watching on Instagram, because on Instagram, really all you can do is see my face and hear me talking. But yeah. And also keep in mind, we are going to have a questions and answers section for this webinar. So for the first roughly half hour or so, we're going to go through just some of the bare fundamentals in using LinkedIn. And then after that, I'm really going to open up the floodgates for you guys to ask any questions you have about using this awesome platform. So start brainstorming on some questions now too. We're going to wait till the clock strikes, we'll say 8:04 Eastern time, and we'll get rocking. By the way, I do want to say hi to some of our members here that I see are logged in. I noticed we had Alex coming in all the way from Los Angeles. What's up, brother? Man, I think we've got all time zones covered right here. Yair, I have to remember where you're tuned in from, but I know we've got Alex from the West Coast, LA. What's going on? Dustin, right in the smack dab middle of the US, coming in from South Dakota, I believe. So we got South Flight on the call, coming in from Chicago. And I guess you could even say the far East Coast, where I am right now, in Newfoundland, Canada. Also, I do want to say, guys, if there's at any point in time my voice cuts in or out, as I mentioned, this is going to be recorded. I'm on an island right now, so the internet's not always necessarily the best, but again, we're going to pray for the best, and just know that you're going to get a high quality version of this recording when we're all done. Good evening, Sal. Cool. All right, guys. Well, let's get it going. My name is Adam Carswell, and as you can see here on my LinkedIn profile, I am a real estate Adampreneur. I'm a connector, and I'm a podcaster. Let's go through a little bit of, and actually, you know what? I do want to pull this up here real quick as well. Nice. I see Alice just joined us with some nice palm trees in the background there. Happy to have you, Alice. If you could make sure you just stay unmuted and turn your video off, that'd be great. So guys, as I mentioned, I'm actually in Newfoundland, Canada right now, but I have some influential people in my life that I've noticed they do this as well. And I've noticed it's really helped me with my business. One of the companies that I work with, and we're going to get to that here in a second, is based out of Los Angeles, California. And 95% of the people I do business with right now are also based in the US. And so I'm just being fully transparent with you here right now. The reason why I use Los Angeles as my place of business on LinkedIn is strictly for business. If I put that I was based out of Canada, it might push people the wrong way. They might think that I'm Canadian, whatever. I mean, I could put China if I wanted to. I actually think this is a really fun tool to play with. You can kind of put wherever you want to say you're from or wherever you think it's going to benefit your business the most. But I found that saying that I'm based out of Los Angeles benefits my business the most. So just being transparent with you there on that. So let's get to it. A little bit more about me. Well, here we go. I've found that labeling myself as CEO of myself is a great way to stand out here on LinkedIn. So I want you guys to remember that as we go through creating your own profiles. This is one of the best ways to grab attention about what it is that you do. And then when people find your page, you can see, okay, so I'm a director at Concordia Realty Corporation. We are a boutique shopping center investment firm. I'm also business development manager at ASIM Capital, which is a private equity firm, as I mentioned, based out of LA. And we joint venture with investors on recession-resistant real estate opportunities. I'm also a podcaster, guys. I love my personal show, Dream Chasers, which ultimately led to me being able to host this show, the Lieberland Show. Go ahead and check them both out when you have some free time. Very passionate about those. Where do I come from? Well, originally from Cleveland, Ohio, but I started my professional career as a basketball coach at Galen University in Belize, Central America. That within itself is a whole other story that we won't get into, but it was an amazing experience. That's all I have to say. I started my professional career in the U.S. with Sherwin-Williams as a market manager. And then I began my journey into real estate in 2016 with RE/MAX. I went to Westminster College for my undergrad where I studied journalism. So that's why I like being in front of a microphone and being on camera so much. I guess you could say I really perfected that there in the broadcasting department. And I was a student athlete as well and just had an amazing experience. As I was coaching in Central America, I mentioned earlier, I was at Galen University where I earned my MBA at the same time. I've got some cool licenses and certifications here. We'll just kind of pop them up here so you can take a quick look at them. And I am still a Rotarian, no longer the treasurer of the Crystal City Pentagon Rotary Club, but that is part of my origins when I lived in the Washington, D.C. area. Cool. All right, so that's enough about me. Guys, as I mentioned, keep in mind your questions and answers for around the 30-minute mark. That's when we're going to dive into that. I do also want to say, actually, everything here that I've mentioned so far on LinkedIn, especially with Sherwin-Williams, with RE/MAX, with ASIM, with Concordia, I can't say that LinkedIn was the exact reason why I'm working at these places, but if you trace it far back enough, it was the catalyst for me creating a lot of opportunities for myself. And so that's what I want to show you guys how you can start doing today. So why LinkedIn? Well, as I mentioned, opportunity. There are a lot of opportunities here. Every time you log into LinkedIn, there's a different kind of opportunity. The challenge, the fun part, the game is figuring out what that opportunity is for yourself and then going out and finding it, right? So one quick hack here that I actually want to show you before we get into, because we actually have a lot of people that are going to be, especially watching this, I know on the replay, that don't even have a LinkedIn profile yet. You know, they're still in college, they've never heard of it, or they've heard of it, they haven't got a start on it yet. So one thing we will do today is create a profile from scratch. But before we do that, just want to show you this one really simple hack that I like to do. You see it here in the search bar. You want to click on, when you log in, you click on content. And after you click on content, you go to right here, posted by First Connections. Hey, Alex, there's a video of us. And then, well, I guess you can choose here, but I like to do past 24 hours. And this is kind of going into something relatively advanced at the start, but I just want to show this to you guys before you forget. So why I'm showing you this is because if you log into LinkedIn and you just go straight to the feed, it's no different than logging into Facebook or Instagram and just scrolling through the feed. And what happens when you start scrolling through the feed on Facebook and Instagram? Well, hi, everyone on Instagram Live. What ends up happening is you start getting easily distracted. You see things that you don't care about. You see ads that you don't care about. If you do it this way, you get to see everything that it is that is really going to benefit you more. You're going to get to see what people are posting. So Again, I mean, I'm looking at some of these names popping up right here. These are all people that I've interacted with before. You'll notice I'm even kind of just scrolling through here, almost just blindly liking and clicking. That is because I'm generating activity. LinkedIn loves users that are active, especially on a daily basis, even if all you're doing is liking and commenting posts. Because what will happen is, for the people that don't know the hack that I just showed you about the feed, people will log into their LinkedIn, and on their feed, they'll see, oh, Adam Carswell liked Joseph Zingales' post. And who knows? I mean, just by me liking this post, that could very well generate some business for Joseph. You never know. So I guess the main focus here is just keeping in mind that you always want to have a value add approach, no matter what you do in life, I should say, but especially here on LinkedIn. Now, I'm sure there's some people out there that would say, don't just go through here blindly liking, because, you might accidentally like something that you don't want people to see or whatever. I haven't ran into that problem yet. And, I think if there ever comes a day when I do, I might rethink my approach. But again, just being active, liking, commenting, messaging. There's a great hashtag from my friend Joe Applebaum, who teaches LinkedIn on a level that I hope to be teaching it one day. And his hashtag is hashtag always be posting. Some of you on here also might be big Instagram or Facebook users. The algorithms are nearly the same on all social media platforms. So if you're someone who's killing it on Instagram, there's no reason you shouldn't be killing it on LinkedIn. If you're someone who's killing it on Facebook, there's no reason you shouldn't be killing it on LinkedIn. The best part about LinkedIn is it is still a baby compared to these other social media platforms, and people are still just learning and just figuring out how to use it. So if you go on Facebook, you go on Instagram, and you kind of look at some of the top influencers, a lot of them have been on the platform. Even YouTube's a good example. Any of these major platforms, a lot of people have built success over time using these platforms. Since LinkedIn is so young, if you get in young now, if you start using it now when it's still got so much room for growth, there's no telling where your career or your presence digitally could be. And the cool thing about LinkedIn is obviously it can, I think, probably more than any other platform out there. I guess you could say, except for like dating apps or whatever. LinkedIn is the one social media app that, in my opinion, almost encourages a face-to-face interaction eventually. Maybe not immediately, but a lot of the people that you get to meet and interact with on here, you'll find that you'll either start having conversations with them over the phone, face-to-face, direct messaging. You just get to know people in a whole new way, and it's right here at your fingertips. So again, 3 things just real quick about LinkedIn that it can be used for, because some people are like, what do you use LinkedIn for? How about, probably first and foremost, I think a lot of people now are using it during their job search. Either it's somebody looking for a new opportunity, or it's a recruiter looking for you or candidates, basically. I know I have a lot of friends in Silicon Valley, and especially recruiters, and I know all they use for recruiting. This is going to sound crazy. The first thing, and sometimes the only thing they use to see if somebody is qualified for a position, is they go immediately to their LinkedIn. And not only that, they'll double check if they do send in a resume. If your resume doesn't match up with your LinkedIn, they're going to find that, and that's a problem. So having your LinkedIn updated equivalent to your resume is huge, especially if you're looking to get a job that's really, I would say, significant now. Obviously there's what's the word I'm looking for? There's sometimes, ways that people will fall through the cracks. Maybe you do get an amazing job and no one ever even checks your LinkedIn or whatever. You knew someone's uncle that hooked you up with a job or something like that. That happens. But for the most part, if you want to be making an impact, LinkedIn, I should say, be making an impact and making yourself credible as a candidate for a job, you have to have your LinkedIn updated with your resume. That is how people are hiring right now. You have to do it. Number 2, as I mentioned earlier, networking. Networking is huge on LinkedIn. I would say for me, probably that's the one focus that I have, is the people. I get on here to interact and network with these people right here, these first connections that we're looking at. Joe Fairless, Marilyn Bueno, Mo Blurian. You know, some of these people I actually maybe I haven't even had a direct conversation with, but I see their faces daily, and this is why I'm here, because you never know as you get to know some of these people who they're going to know, and then who that person's going to know, et cetera, et cetera. It's a big game, as I already said, of connect the dots. And I think depending on what direction you want to head with your career, it's almost inevitable that it's going to be associated with this platform. So getting on here is just giving yourself such a big advantage and head start. That's all I got to say in regards to networking. Number three, marketing your personal brand. Now, even if you're an employee or an entrepreneur, whatever position you're in, you do have a personal brand and you do have a right to stand out. So as we go through this, you'll see the differences between people who are blending in, and I know what we like to call sometimes lurkers, and the difference between the lurkers and the people who are actually active. If you want a company to gravitate towards you, whether it's for a job, whether it's to be a client, customer, etc., your presence on LinkedIn will be seen by them. So it's just, I can't stress enough how important it is to your reputation to do this. So here we go. It's great for marketing your brand. And we are going to now create a profile from scratch. This should be fun because I have some things preset for us here, but I didn't really get a chance to test out creating one from scratch because the email that we're going to use is my junk email, and I didn't feel like creating a whole new email, basically. So here we go. This is what it, guys, anyone who does not have a LinkedIn, this is how we get started. Let's do it. All right, first name. What's our name going to be? I say our name's going to be Thomas Witherspoon. And we're going to use my junk email. If you guys ever want to send me some junk mail, here you go. Oh, password. Let's do Belize, because I used to live in Belize. 789 exclamation mark. Thomas Witherspoon. All right. So this is how you create a link. See? Oh, are you Canadian? No. Well, sure. Why not? Let's make Thomas Witherspoon from Canada. And sure, we'll make that his postal code. Most recent job title. So we're going to say that Thomas is a student at Ohio State. OHIO. I didn't go there, but definitely grew up cheering for him. Why is that? Why am I not saying Ohio State University? Sure. Industry. I'm going to make him an engineer. There you go, civil engineering. Oh, well, actually, let's do this. I'm a student. Let's click this option. There we go. Ohio State University. That's why I wasn't getting it. It's the Ohio State University. Anyone who's a Buckeye is going to laugh at that one. Bachelor of Engineering, specialization. Let's get creative with this. We're going to make this one, I'm going to use something more relatable to what I'm doing to make this easier for you guys to learn, basically. So let's make Thomas Witherspoon. Let's say he's working on his engineering degree, but he wants to ultimately get into real estate. And he's going to graduate. And now my math is going to get off a little bit. Let's say if he started in 2017, that means he's going to graduate in 2020, right? Right. I hope so. All right. And that's what I was thinking. All right, let's get this passcode here. Anyone who doesn't have a LinkedIn, this is how you begin. This is where the magic starts. We are not going to import contacts. All right, cool. So there you go. LinkedIn's already from the beginning. Pay attention to this. If you are actually creating a real profile here, maybe we'll use one of these people as an example here just to see what it looks like. Marc-Antoine Blaise, we love you, man. Hopefully this does well. Cool. That's what I was waiting for. So guys, picture is so important. Your picture, your avatar on LinkedIn is going to probably be just as valuable as anything else you put up. I can't say more valuable than your resume, but it's very important for making a first impression. So I've got a picture of Thomas Witherspoon here. Boom. You can tell he's a eager, ready to learn, good student. Well, at least the picture makes us think that, right? He's got his books in his hand, thumbs up, ready to learn. And look, you can go have your friend or just take some time to reach out to one of your friends, maybe who's a photographer, or maybe if you're skilled at taking pictures yourself. I mean, I feel like at this day and age, everyone can take a high quality photo on their iPhone. You've got portrait mode. You got so many ways to make yourself look good and spend no money. Do it. Do it, do it, do it. Go get a nice profile picture for yourself. Cool. And LinkedIn wants my phone number. Can we do this? If you guys want to call me, this is it. Oh, I could have skipped it. We're skipping that. I'm not giving my phone number. All right. Wow. Thomas Witherspoon, starting from scratch. Now, one important thing to do when you create your profile, obviously you want to populate your stuff here, which we're going to get to, but this spot right here, if you want to stand out to a recruiter, get rid of this generic LinkedIn header. All this header says, especially if you're a student, I would say, if you're a successful business person who's been there, done that, already made it, don't worry about it. But to an average recruiter or someone who uses LinkedIn at least somewhat frequently, if you have this picture as your header, it says, either I don't care that much or I didn't even know that I could change it. That's what it says. So we're going to change it. We are going to make Thomas stand out above the crowd. I pulled this, and you can go to, there's even a website, Pexels, PEXELS.com, where you can get high quality. You can get high quality photos for free. This one I just got off Google Images. I'm pretty sure the creator of this photo would not mind if Thomas used this. All right, now actually let's take another look here. We want to stand out. We want Thomas to stand out. So, student at The Ohio State University. How many other people at Ohio State University have the exact same headline? Probably, not even joking. If they do have a LinkedIn, probably 98% of them, if not more. So we want to be in the 1%. How do we get in the 1%? Well, this is how you do it. You already saw my headline. For example, obviously, it's not normal. It stands out. It pops. We're going to make Thomas pop. Excuse me. So Thomas is in engineering. But as we mentioned, he wants to get into real estate. And just to make this example sizzle and pop and give you something to really look up to or aim to be like, this is my advice. All right. So we'll say Thomas, engineering student with a desire to become an industry leading real estate entrepreneur. Now, yes, that sizzles. Yes, that pops. Yes, that's bold. Yes, Thomas is going to stand out. So if I had someone like Thomas reach out to me and I see this as his headline, oh man, I would personally, I would be so excited. And I know so many other people, for example, and this is applicable to, I've got to make this clear. This is applicable to all industries. I'm using engineering and real estate as an example right now, just because that's what came to mind. That's what is relatable for me to teach you. But you can take this spin and apply it to art, apply it to science, apply it to other aspects of business, sales, marketing, the medical industry. Oh my goodness, there's such a lack of prominent LinkedIn thought leaders on the medical industry. There's so much room for growth there, even if you are a student. So cool. Engineering student with a desire to become an industry leading real estate entrepreneur. Who is going to miss this guy? Oh, as long as he's keeping his face out there, not many. There we go, Newfoundland. All right, so guys, that's how you set up your LinkedIn profile. Now, we're not going to go into too much details here, but we want to take this same principle, okay? So how we made Thomas pop really quick, just his headline, boom, it's popping. You want to take that same approach on everything else that you add to your profile. And as we continue to, for everyone tuned in, I should say, as we continue to grow, as we can continue to learn together, I'm going to be able to answer your questions, and we're going to get you on track. Okay. So we're not going to go into too much details here, but just take that same principle of making it sizzle, making it pop from the top and applying it all the way down. Real quick, I'm going to log out of Thomas's profile. And also I should say, look, boom, that took what, 5-10 minutes to set up a profile. Guys, it all starts with one step. I want to say, I think I first made my LinkedIn when I was maybe a junior or senior in college. Never used it, but I did make it when my dad recommended to me, hey, Adam, you should get on LinkedIn. Little did I know, looking back on it, I don't know how long ago that was, 8 or 9 years. Little did I know that him telling me to get on LinkedIn would lead to this. So it all starts one step at a time. As my friend JP Rivera has been teaching me Spanish recently, poco a poco, little by little. We're getting close to the Q&A too, by the way, so I hope you guys got some goodies. But before we get there, let me just log back in real quick to my profile. All right, and so I just want to show you, instead of going through it, building it step by step with good old Thomas Witherspoon, show you how I have mine set up. So, and there's LinkedIn professionals out there that very well could, take a look at my profile and be like, hey, Adam, like, you got to do this, you got to do this. So there's things here that maybe I'm not even doing to the best of my ability, but I'm trying, and that's what I want you guys to do, is to at least try. So in the about section, again, put something that, instead of saying, something along the lines of student at Ohio State, or, wherever it is that you might be working, especially if you're a young professional, put something that is going to stand out. I've actually had, I don't even know how many people I've had reach out to me and say that they really liked my about section. So if you could just read this here real quick, or screenshot it when we go back to it. We can only, all right, I'm just going to read it. We can only fly so far solo. I believe in the power of mentorship and teamwork. The biggest, fastest, and strongest can be the most powerful. However, the wisest, friendliest, and most well-connected can be the most influential. Commercial real estate is my game. Taking life to the next level is my mission. So I've had a lot of people say, hey, Adam, that's cool. Guys, you can write articles on LinkedIn. What happens when you write an article? All of a sudden you establish credibility. All of a sudden people go, oh, wow, that person actually knows what they're talking about. I think as I go through all of this, it actually reminds me of something else that I want to bring to your attention, which is, this all starts with breaking through your comfort zone. I understand there's a lot of fear tied to getting started on this platform for multiple reasons. One, maybe you're not that much of an outspoken person in the first place. Maybe you are just afraid because you feel like there's right or wrong things to say on LinkedIn. All I can say is, guys, just be bold. Put yourself front and center. For example, if you are, say, at a national park and you see a beautiful view, beautiful landscape, and you take a picture of that landscape, save it on your phone, the chances of you going back and looking at that photo and truly enjoying it the way you did when you first saw it are very minimal. But what's going to increase the chances of you going back and really enjoying that photo? Sure, yeah, you could take one of the landscape, but flip the camera around and take a picture of you. Take a selfie with that background. When you put yourself front and center, it stands out. Even you notice it. And I have here we go. I'm pulling up a quote here, guys, because I have to read this quote to you. And this is when for example, when I first made my thing, Real Estate Adampreneur, I was so scared. I can't even tell you. I was terrified. Someone recommended it to me that I should do it. And I was like, I don't know. But I've done it. And not only have I gotten a lot of positive comments on it, but at first I was like, man, people are going to think negatively about me if I do this. And it's just proven to be the complete opposite. So here's the quote for you guys. And some of you have probably heard this before, but I just want you to take it with you before we head into these Q&A, which is, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. That's a quote from Marianne Williamson. And so just remember, a lot of this stuff that I'm advising right now, that I'm teaching right now, if you haven't done it before, I could absolutely appear as scary. And I think I would say, even for myself, once upon a time, everything that I have in my profile was very scary to put up. But once you start doing it, once you start putting yourself out there, once you even hop into the feed, guys, stuff like, I'm going to show you this real quick. I know I said the Q&A is coming up soon, but even stuff like this is magnetic on LinkedIn. So everyone's also focused on business. Again, make yourself front and center. Be casual. I think I've said bro or man to someone on LinkedIn more in the past, for example, 4 months than I have in the past 4 years. People gravitate towards authenticity. So I think that's what I'm going to type, because I didn't have anything planned here. I didn't know I was going to do this, but we'll put that. People gravitate towards authenticity. And see how simple this post is. I'm not posting an article. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm literally posting 4 words, but I'm putting myself out there, and that's how we do it. So without further ado, I hope you guys have been having fun so far, and I hope we've learned some things, but I definitely want to hear what's going through your head. So I'm going to flip it over now to Q&A. I hope you like my Super Mario background, by the way, as well. And let's see. For Q&A, if you wanna go ahead and unmute your microphone, you can, or if you want to just comment in the chat, that works as well. I'm just seeing Dustin's comment. That's pretty funny. What up? Anyone enjoying an IPA? Not yet, Dustin. Hopefully in a little bit here. I'm glad you are. But all right, I'll shut up, guys. Go ahead. Hit me with anything you got. Message from Elizabeth Band. Oh, okay. I will wait. I shall wait for the questions. Some of you guys here in here actually do have preset questions from you when some of you I contacted before the recording. But we're going to save those for later.
So I have a question about the leads that you get from LinkedIn.
There we go. Is that Chris Williams?
You already know.
What's going on, C-Dub? So what's your question?
Okay, so this is quite ironic. This week I got like 3 calls and a text message from like recruiters on LinkedIn, and I followed through with a couple of them, but I can't really tell if they're valuable, like job leads.
Okay, so let me make sure. Okay, so your question is,
so essentially, I mean, like, how do you filter through, like, is there certain things that you should remove from your profile or add to your profile to make sure you're getting higher quality leads rather than just getting, entry-level sales position?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So I would take this first of all, this is a compliment to say that you're doing something right. Because if the recruiters are finding you in the first place, that means you have done something on your profile to generate attention. So I wouldn't say that you're doing anything wrong. And as you mentioned, you're just trying to figure out if these leads are quality. From personal experience, normally any lead on LinkedIn with a recruiter reaching out to you instead of you reaching out to the recruiter, deserves somewhat of a question mark, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't at least look into where they're coming from. So I would say if you are open to new opportunities specifically, go ahead and pursue those leads. The only way you're really going to know if it's worth it is by kind of doing your own research, doing your own homework. So I would say don't disregard cold calls from recruiters, but just you take advantage of the opportunity, because at the end of the day, it is still an opportunity. And when I say that, I mean just follow up to them, ask them questions, etc.
Okay, good answer.
All right, so we have some more. And Chris, I mean, anyone on here, you all have my information, you all have my contact. So if there's ever anything that I don't answer fully as you were hoping, just know that you can still always reach out to me. Elizabeth did have a question, and I missed it here. She said, when it comes to experiences on LinkedIn, how do you order your experience, by year or by relevance? Okay. So people have different opinions on this one. This is mine. Especially if you're a young professional, the only experience that you should have on your LinkedIn is maybe the job that you're working while you're in college, and the fact that you're in college, in school. If you're done with school, for example, you can go look at my profile. We'll just pull it up here as an example. You just don't want to overclutter your it's the same thing as a resume. You don't want to overclutter your resume. So you do want to keep it chronological, and thankfully LinkedIn will keep it chronological for you. Before I had this job as the head coach at Galen, I worked for the Cleveland Indians. I worked for a paint company. I was painting houses in the summer. I worked at a restaurant. I worked at Staples. I don't know. I had so many jobs, but this is the first one that really mattered. This is the first one that counted, besides the fact that I was at school. One thing that you can do that's cool is, especially if you're still in school, yeah, you put your education here, but just go ahead and get creative and create a job for yourself, a job title for yourself while you're in school, even if it is just a student, and then make it clear that, that's something that you're working on. That way it just kind of adds a little bit more meat to the bones. And, even from here, Galen head basketball coach, all the way up to here. Oh, and I must say, this is, I would say this is a move that I didn't even consider until about 2 months ago, but it's helped generate a lot of traffic to my profile. The most secure job in the world that you will ever have is being in charge of your own personal business, your own self. So, I understand this might not be for everyone, but I definitely recommend if you've got it in you to make you the focus of your profile. But again, I've had other jobs within this time frame, but the ones that are actually going to hold the weight, those are the ones that you want to put up there. And again, LinkedIn will put it in chronological order for you. And I think even if you don't want it to be in chronological order, you can move it around. But definitely chronological is my opinion. It's just like a resume. We had some more chats. And guys, feel free to kind of blow up the chat box if you want. We probably won't get through all the questions, but the more the merrier. Yair, I'm going to get to your question here. Just want to take a quick look at it. Adam, you mentioned putting your experience out there can be scary at first. I'm a second-year accounting student who is still in the weak resume stage of my career. Is it worth having a LinkedIn profile and getting involved if people can see my lack of experience? If yes, what exactly should I be doing? Okay, so Yair, yes, absolutely, 100% worth it to create a profile. As I mentioned, I would say looking back, for example, on my own self. Now, I don't remember what my profile looked like when I was a junior or a sophomore in college or whatever, but I'm pretty confident I didn't have a lot of experience on my profile. But you know what? I was in the game. I was there. And we want you in the game. We need you here. Because if you can be here, then you never know what's going to happen next, basically. So, and there is a lot of power, as I mentioned. If you don't have any experience, there's a lot of power in this headline. For example, Thomas Witherspoon, who we used earlier, who was the engineering student with a desire to become an industry-leading real estate entrepreneur. Anyone that sees his profile is going to be like, all right, he's a kid. He's in college. Business professionals are going to understand the fact that if you're in school, you don't have anything on your profile besides school and maybe one other job. That's just a given. So absolutely overcome that fear. It's more about being on here and ultimately engaging with people one-on-one, which is maybe, again, something else that we could maybe talk about on this call or doing another webinar or something. But engaging with people is the main focus, always. Engagement on LinkedIn. That's where you're going to find the opportunities. I'm going to move to Alex. You got it, brother. Alex Shin, what's going on, man? So do you send a message with your connection request? That is interesting because yes, I would say that leaves a good impression. But what I've found recently is that adding a note to a message with someone on LinkedIn, oftentimes, even if they accept your request, they're not going to see it. So let's actually just go see who's sending me requests, for example. And I will say my style, I accept everyone that comes through until they give me a reason to not be connected with them. Personally, I have no reason to not connect with them because it's another connection. It's another opportunity. It's another person added to my database that might know someone who knows someone. I understand there's different approaches out there, but that's just always been my focus, is accept everyone until they give you a reason not to. Now, to answer your question, Alex, see, all these people just sent me requests to connect. Pat was the only one that sent a message. And I can honestly say, as someone who does use LinkedIn and does get a lot of requests on a daily basis, I have gotten to a point where I do not read these. So sending a personalized invite to someone is really not key. But I would say if it's someone that you want to connect with for sure, and you want to do your best to grab their attention, it doesn't hurt. What the most important thing is once they accept your connection, that is when as some of the kids would say, that's when the sliding into the DMs begins, once the connection is made. So I think if you want to increase your chances of connecting with someone who might be picky with connections, then you do want to do the invite, or the personalized note. But again, for me, sometimes I'll even show you here, for example. Sometimes I'll just see here, okay, Tom Ferry, he's kind of a popular guy, but whatever. I know who he is, boom, I'm just going to click connect. You know, if he connects with me, or or Mary Lou Alleman. Okay, so I don't know her, but sometimes when you send someone an invite to connect, they'll reach out to you, and the floodgates of conversation are open. So I know there's a little bit of a long answer. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Do I send personalized invites to people? Not anymore. I used to, and most of the magic happens once they accept the connection. Then we start chatting and getting to know each other. So that's my advice: is don't take it too seriously.
Hey, Adam. Um,
Hey,
what's up? Hey, just like, cause obviously LinkedIn isn't just a platform for connections. They're trying to sell you a service with like premium. And do you feel that a lot of people don't leverage or don't have don't use the tools that they give you if you were to pay for something? And do you feel like it's worth paying for
yeah,
like extra tools like send messages to people outside your immediate network?
yeah. That okay. So that you just sparked like three answers, and I'm going to try and knock them out one by one here, Sal. But thank you for asking that. The first one is they do have tools out there. Like I know there's one called like LinkedIn Helper that kind of automates your LinkedIn for you. So it'll do all of the auto messaging and stuff with new connections and whatever. What I found is, you know, people who are especially comfortable using the platform, they can tell it's not you right away. So unless you get to the level where you're Grant Cardone or Gary Vee or someone who's just got an incredibly successful business to the point where you either one don't want to be using social media anymore or can't because it just doesn't make sense for you time wise or money wise, then that's when you want to use those services. But if you can keep everything you do organic, people are going to smell it, and again, people are going to gravitate towards it. Um, your question, Sal, can you repeat? Oh, LinkedIn Premium. LinkedIn Premium. So as you can see, guys, I don't have LinkedIn Premium, and I think that if you're going to be getting a job where you need to, hmm, where you need to be generating leads, and it's proven that LinkedIn Premium will help you, then do it. But thankfully, I could say from my experience, I haven't had to spend a dollar using LinkedIn, and it has made me thousands of dollars, thankfully. So it's totally there's no right or wrong way to do it, but I would say especially if you're a young professional, you're just getting started. Some of the benefits of using premium, they're not really going to benefit you at that stage in your career either. I'd say, you know, once you get to a level where you are running your own business, as I said, or you got to generate leads daily, and there's data or proof out there that LinkedIn Premium will financially help your business, at that point, I would say move forward with it. You know, recruiters have LinkedIn Premium because if you have LinkedIn Premium, then you can see everything about much more people than you could if you didn't have Premium. So again, I don't use it because again, my network is already very organic. It's mostly all through people who I know or people that I know. I trust it, and you know, maybe there will be a day uh, when I decide to move forward with premium. But I'd say getting started, save your money, and just go out there and make some friends. Another thing that ties to that real quick, because I said that you generated three answers in my head. The third answer was some people who teach LinkedIn advice, etc. They're really big on making sure that you get endorsements, making sure that you get recommendations. Um, there's another feature on here that people really encourage, but another thing is at the end of the day, yeah, it's great that 58 people have endorsed me in leadership, etc. All this stuff here. I've only got two recommendations. You know, I've seen people that have over 99. That's great. But again, we're getting on LinkedIn because we're here to make one-on-one connections with people. So this can carry you far. This can make a good first impression. But once you're able to start making a one-on-one connection with someone, even if you only have two connections in your network, the fact that you're interacting one-on-one, that is where the value lies on this platform. And I know I had the Q&A thing here. We're gonna keep going with the Q&A. I'm just trying to pull up the chat here. I don't know if you guys can see my screen. Yeah. All right, cool. So again, go ahead and type in any questions that you might have. If not, I'm gonna pull from our.
Hey, I put that link in there to ONET because someone said something about, putting their experience on there with not having a lot of experience. So my freshman year of college, I had like no experience. My first job was McDonald's, and I was embarrassed to put that on there. And my professor got me hip to ONET. And basically, you go in there and you type in your job, and it'll give you descriptions. So instead of saying, I worked at McDonald's, you could put that's where you worked or wherever you work at. If it's, not significant, instead of putting, exactly what you did, like I was a cashier, it'll give you descriptions like learned how to manage my time effectively, whatever, to make that job. It's not about the job. It's about the skills that you're learning with whatever job you have under your belt.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. The website that Chris shared for anyone that's listening that's not able to see this chat was ONET online. So O is in Ohio, N is in Nebraska, E is in eternity, T is in tower. Again, O is in Ohio, N is in Nancy, L is in Larry, I is in Idaho, N is in Nancy, E is in energy.org. onetonline.org. That's cool, Chris. Thank you for sharing that. I probably will use that when advising people moving forward. I did not know that. One question. Well, actually, so I've got a couple here from individuals that will probably be joining us on the replay. Again, if anyone has another one, please go ahead and type it in right now. But I'm going to start polling at the same time. So one was what type of posts encourage the most interaction? And again, in regards to standing out, I'd say this is a really important question. If you're ever going to share a link that, especially if you're ever going to share an article, we'll say, or a link, whatever, that's not originally from LinkedIn, if it's an external source, the way LinkedIn has their algorithms set up, you will not receive as much traffic. For example, this is a perfect example right here, actually. MC Laubscher is probably, especially I would say in the business podcasting industry right now, one of the most influential leaders in our business. But his posts rarely get likes. And what I can say, and MC has some really cool stats too, I believe, behind the scenes that can tell you what he's getting out of this. But as you can see, no interaction. I know he posted it 28 minutes ago, but it's a link to YouTube. LinkedIn wants this to be a LinkedIn link. You'll notice, let's see if we can pull up. Well, there you go right there. So Chris Perez posted a video through LinkedIn, not through YouTube, not through Facebook, through LinkedIn. And to be honest, I don't know what this video is about. I'm sure it's adding value to people's lives, but I can almost confidently say that this video from MC would probably add a lot more value to individuals' lives than this one. And unfortunately, because it's just a bland YouTube link, LinkedIn's not pushing it forward to its users. So if you're going to share an article, video, post, whatever, try to keep it something that's within LinkedIn if you're looking to generate traffic. If you don't care necessarily a whole bunch about traffic, you can go ahead and post whatever you want, but just you have to keep that in mind. LinkedIn wants you to stay in. And so working with that is definitely something that is a skill, and it comes over time. We got another question here from Yair. When I first start to build my network, are there certain people who I should reach out to first? People who I already know? People who I don't know who go to my school? High school status individuals in the field I want to pursue? how should I start out building my network? Well, I think you kind of said it right there. Yair, good question. My network or your network. So think physically, I guess, before you think digitally, who is in your network? Chances are, especially if they're a professional, they should be on LinkedIn. I'm just looking, and I got distracted for a second. Our Instagram live only goes for 60 minutes. So Instagram, you're gonna miss the last few minutes of this one, but thank you. You've got 1 minute and 40 seconds left. So Yair, yeah, just think about it right now, man. I mean, who is in your network? Other students that you go to school with, other professionals that you know, your parents, etc. Look them up. As you can see when we created that profile, LinkedIn will, what's the best way to put it? LinkedIn will go through your email contacts for you and push out to your network that you are, using LinkedIn, that you're on LinkedIn. The best way to get started is to, again, start from the ground up, start organic, friends and family, people that you know, and just start building on that. And then I would also say, if you know what direction you want to go, like if you know you want to go into accounting for sure, just go right here and type in accounting. And then once you type in accounting, click on people and boom, there you go. It might be a little bit scary, but I could say for sure, Nathan Mathis, and we will use, for example, a personalized invite for this one. So if you're, if you're trying to build your network, you're reaching out to people for the first time, this would be helpful. So you do want to do a personalized invite. We're not going to send this to him because it's not necessarily true for me. Well, here we go. You would just be like, hey, Nathan, I'm a sophomore at Ohio State University. And I'm really excited about getting into the accounting industry when I graduate. Do you have, sorry, isn't it interesting how when you start typing and people are watching, it's like all of a sudden becomes harder. Do you have any advice? I mean, you could do something like that and send that to them. I guarantee, especially if it's someone who's been in the business for a while, they're going to be like, wow, young, fresh blood that's like hungry and eager to learn. I can't promise it, but man, I got to say 95% of people on LinkedIn that see someone like you just showing that you have a passion to grow and learn, they're going to be like, hey, Yair, what's up, man? Talk to me. Like, what is it that you want to know? What direction do you want to go? Another way to reach out cold to people, and I could actually do this one, for example. Hey, Nathan, saw we had some mutual connections. Would love to connect. And then, so I could just leave it at that, and chances are he's going to accept it, and boom, we're going to be friends. But if I really want to put cherry on top, how can I be of value to you? And go ahead and put, thanks, Adam. So, okay, so this does go back to the question about personalized invites. If you are looking to pack a punch and you do have time to send a personal invite, moments like this, yes, go for it. Yeah, I hope I'm just rereading my message to this guy to make sure I sent it to him right. Hey, Nathan, so it's mutual connections. Would love to connect. How can I be of value to you? I say you and your business. Because you want to show that you want to bring value to people before you start asking them for what they can do for you. I think that's a basic life principle. And I say, thankfully, anyone listening right now pretty much gets that. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on this call. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. it's about time to wrap things up, but I do have one more question I wanted to answer on here. Yeah, absolutely, man. All right, guys. So here's the last question. Everyone else that's really been engaging too, Alex, Sal, Chris, guys, if you have any follow-up questions for me, just go ahead and shoot me an email. That goes for everyone else listening right now as well. You have my contact information. If you're watching this video, it's because I emailed it to you. So feel free to reach out to me at any time with any other questions. But my favorite question that I received before doing this was from my friend Kayla, who does not have LinkedIn yet. She's still in college or a young professional getting started. And so first we got to help her, she's got to make her profile. But her other question was, how do you use LinkedIn to make $1 million? I was like, oh, wow, that's $1 million question right there. I could say, honestly, I guess I haven't necessarily figured that one out yet. But if I could point you in the right direction, how do you use LinkedIn? Or how do you make $1 million using LinkedIn? Hey, Elijah. Look, see, Elijah's breaking my rules about posting an external link, but you know what? We're going to help him out. The way to make $1 million on LinkedIn is to just make engaging with people and adding value in any way that you can your priority. If your priority every time you get on this app, every time you get on this platform is who can I engage with, whose posts can I like, whose posts can I comment on, what can I post, how can I bring value to my network? And I should also say bringing value to your network sometimes is as simple as posting a video of you. Okay, guys, because I've done this and I've gotten a lot of views on it before, so it works. I posted videos of me running around the track, dancing to the music that I was running to. I understand it sounds scary because it's a professional environment, but people want to see who you are. If they can feel your personality, they're going to want to buy from you or do business with you. As Joe Applebaum, who I mentioned earlier, the guy who said, always be posting, he also says, if you're going to be selling, you're going to be smelling. So don't be coming off trying to see what you can get from other people or trying to see how you can make a sale on someone, maybe if you already are in the professional world. Your goal is to add value first and show the network and show the people who you are. That applies to not only LinkedIn, but to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and all other platforms as well. And that is how you make $1 million using LinkedIn. So, all right, guys, thank you for tuning in. This has been really, I've done webinars before, but I've never done anything like this before. So I have to say thank you so much for investing your time with me right now. It means a lot to me. You guys are right here in some way, shape, or form, right here at the beginning with me as well. So I just want to thank you for being here from the start. We've got some big things coming, I think, for all of us here in the future. So let's stay connected. Let's keep improving our profiles and really manipulating this to all social media platforms if you can. And as I like to say, guys, remember, in all you think, say, and do, take it to the next level.
Bang, bang.
I was waiting on you to say that, Chris. Thank you. All right, guys, we will catch you in, I guess, perhaps the next webinar. Peace.